So Hillary or Christina, are we ready to go? Okay. Good morning, everybody. We will call this meeting to order. I hope everybody's doing well today. We will start with a roll call of the Board of Directors. I will start Director Perotti.
Present.
Director McQuarrie. I can see you, Chuck, but you haven't registered in, but there you go.
Okay, you got it?
Got it. Okay. Director Weinberg, I do not see. Director Rodriguez.
Present.
Thank you. Director Sheeler.
Present.
Good to hear you, Bill. Vice Chair Tabor. I'm not here. And Chair Davis, I am here. So the record shows that 2 board members are absent at the present time. That would take us then to the report regarding the posting of the agenda. Could I have that from Christina, please?
Good morning.
Good morning.
The agenda was posted on Friday, July 31st, 2020 at MTD's administrative office, mailed and emailed to those on the agenda list, and posted on MTD's website.
Good, thank you very much. We will now go to the consent calendar. There are 2 items. The first, item 4, is the approval of the prior minutes for the meeting of July 7th, 2020. And item 5, the cash report. This is for the period June 27th through July 10th, 2020. Are there any questions on either of these 2 items? Okay, not hearing any questions. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
Okay, I have Rodriguez, and do I have a second?
Second.
Perotti is the second. Okay, again, a roll call vote. Okay, Director Perotti,
Aye.
Director McQuarrie,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez,
Aye.
Director Sheeler,
Yes.
and Chair Davis votes yes. So that is unanimous of the members present, 5-0. Thank you very much for that. Concluding the consent calendar, we will go to item 6. This is public comment for items which are not on today's agenda. Madam Clerk, is there anyone wishing to speak under public comment?
We do have a public comment. This came in via email from Dorian Belmonte. And the email reads as follows. Dear Santa Barbara MTD Board of Directors, I am a patron of the SB MTD. I have a medical condition that prohibits me from wearing a mask on the bus as it obstructs my access to oxygen. I've tried for weeks to talk with Mary Gregg in Human Resources to receive a medical accommodation while riding the bus. The Santa Barbara COVID order states on page 4 a list of exemptions from wearing a mask. A medical exemption is among them. You can read it for yourself. Nowhere in the order does it state that I must present a letter from my doctor to have this accommodation met, but Mary is demanding a letter from my doctor. Please let me know if the SB MTD plans to continue to defy the SB County COVID order, which clearly states medical exemptions are allowed. Several bus drivers have been extremely rude and harassed me several times, discriminating against me due to my medical condition. I'd like to settle this situation out of court, but if the SB MTD continues to violate the American Disabilities Act by mandating that I go against my doctor's orders, I will have to get legal counsel involved. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Dory. And there was an order from the health officer attached.
Thank you very much. Obviously, that will be referred back to staff for consideration and action in that regard. That takes us on to item 7.
Mr. Chair, sorry, there is a hand raised among the participants.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're still back in public comment. If there is a hand raised, would you like to handle that? Who is it? And would you let them come through?
Sure, it's E. Howard Green, and Howard, you should be able to unmute yourself.
It says on my screen I'm still muted.
We got you, Howard, or Mr. Green. We can hear you clearly.
Great, thanks, Mr. Davis. 2 brief comments. The paper notice for the last couple meetings, including this, has not arrived. I did get the electronic, so I appreciate that. And there seems to have been missing the director's report, general manager's report, which is typically in the agenda packet. I'm particularly interested in statistics on ridership, the growth, the trends, and the number of bypasses, number of times buses don't stop because of the capacity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. That concludes the public comment section. We will move on then to the next regular agenda item. That is item 7. This is the Sustainable Transportation Planning Grant Resolution. Mr. Estrada?
Yeah, good morning, Chair Davis, members of the board. We got some good news for you. I'm going to get right to it and hand this off to Ms. Blackaby to share with you the information. Sorry.
Good morning, Hillary.
Good morning, Chair and Board. So yes, we got a conditional award letter for a grant that we applied for back in the fall through Caltrans, and it was through their Sustainable Transportation Planning Grant Program. We applied to get funded to do a new short-range transit plan. We had one previously that the 5-year window ended in 2019. We've gone after this grant a few times, and thankfully we were successful this time. We were selected out of a very competitive batch of applicants, so we're very happy with that. These funds, as you all know, a lot of funds come from the federal government in different pots of money through the state. Sometimes they come directly to us, but there's a specific pot of money, 5304, from the Federal Transit Administration in their Sustainable Communities Program that is administered by Caltrans, and that is ultimately where the funds are coming from for this. So the grant funds are totaling $100,039, and we're matching that with a small amount of Measure A dollars. So in order to enter into a restricted grant agreement with them, we need a resolution from the board, which you can see in your packet. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you for the report. Madam Clerk, is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item from the public?
I do not have public comment on this item.
Okay, are there any comments or questions from the board at this point? Mr. Sheeler.
Thank you, Chair. I noticed that often with these grants, there's certain stipulations that come with them that the organization needs to adhere to, or else return the money. And I was wondering if there's any certain accommodations or restrictions, and what is the timeline for this project to be completed? Thank you.
So to your second question, this would be if everything goes in okay, and actually all we need to get into them now is the resolution. We've turned in everything else. The project would be able to start in November. It works on a reimbursement basis. We invoice them quarterly. I believe, I don't have it up right now, but I believe we have this wrapping up. It has to wrap up, I think, by February of, I want to say 2022. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look it up, but we think the whole process will probably last max about 18 months. As far as stipulations or other restrictions, I'm not sure. I mean, if you have more specific concerns or questions, let me know. But obviously we stipulate to things in the agreement, but nothing that I think we can handle all of it, I guess is what I would say.
Question?
Mr. Corey.
Yes, will this be done in-house or is it going to be contracted out?
It'll be contracted out, and we'll go through the process of an RFP and all that for consultant services for this. We we do not have the bandwidth to do it internally. Obviously, staff will be heavily involved, but can't do it on our own.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Bill, you can continue.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just wondering at the end of this, what sort of, I'm not familiar with this short-term planning. Maybe it's just because it's been a little while since the last time this was done, but what sort of work product will we be able to view at the end, and maybe just summarize what sort of value this provides to the district by having this short-term work product,
Right.
short-term planning grant?
Great question. So for short-range transit plan, generally the way that it's been done here anyway has been sort of a 5-year time horizon. However, with the way things are changing and the way that we're really looking into the future, envisioning what our system can be, what our service can be, I really see it having a longer view as well. And we will come in our timeline and our scope of work. We come back to the board at various times. We go out to the public to get their input in a deep and significant way. Obviously, that's going to look different than maybe we thought it would originally, or maybe by the time we're ready to go out to the public, we will know a little better. It starts out with a sort of assessment of the current system, goes out to the public about needs. And I think this is a situation where we can really reckon with the questions about coverage versus ridership, look at our system with fresh eyes. And that will certainly set us up for way past 5 years. So in the end, you will have a short-range transit plan that shows you where we are now, where we're projected to go, a few different paths forward, and a good sense of, with the understanding of the dynamics in the transit industry right now and in our local community, give us a good path for going forward.
Bill, you may continue.
Thank you. Is it possible, or is it being considered for the micro transit pilot project to be included in this planning effort?
We'll definitely be looking at microtransit in this, yes.
Okay. Any other questions on this item or comments at this point? Okay, this is a resolution. I will need a motion to approve the resolution as presented in the staff report. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. McCrory made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll take Director Rodriguez is the second, and we will do a roll call vote. Director Perotti,
Aye.
Director McCrory,
Aye.
Director Weinberg is absent. Director Rodriguez,
Aye.
Director Sheeler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Tabor is absent, and Chair Davis votes yes, aye. So the resolution is passed on a 5-0 with 2 absent vote. Great.
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you, Ms. Blackerby. Thank you very much. That takes us to item 8. This is the general manager's. Oh, Bill?
Yeah, I just wanted to remember the procedure for the resolution being signed by the chair and the secretary.
Yeah, and Christina, you can weigh in here as the clerk to the board. She has essentially sent that to us in a packet, first to me, which I will sign, and then to you for attestation after that. Will we follow that again?
We actually have one more option. Digital signatures will be allowed on this resolution for what we turn in. So I have that as a PDF option. So if you determine that that's something that you'd like to go with, I can certainly send that out immediately following this meeting.
It actually probably depends simply upon the timing and the necessity of the timing if it has to be transmitted someplace. I'll leave that to staff as to which way it will do it, but we can cover it either way. That answer your question, Mr. Sheeler?
Thank you. Sounds good to me.
Good. Good. Okay, then I will go back and continue on to item 8. This is the general manager's report. Mr. Estrada, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'll be brief. As you know, this is a special board meeting, so I did include the written report. I will do that with all regular board meetings. For the general manager report, just want to touch a little bit on the pandemic. As you know, we did report one employee who tested positive. He's doing fine back at work at this point. Just wanted to report that. Also, driver barriers, we're making progress on that. Likely in the next week or so, I'll be signing a purchase order or awarding a contract for the permanent solution on board the entire fleet. And I'll be having that conversation with the chair consistent with the declaration of emergency. Those powers to do so. We will use CARES Act funding to pay for that. So that's a topic, obviously, that I wanted to update you on at this point. So that's all I have for this particular report.
Any questions for General Manager Estrada? Mr.
I have
Shaler.
a question that's-
Mr. Shaler first, please.
Okay.
Bill?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe if the general manager just might be able to explain a little bit more about what the permanent solution is. When you say permanent, is that until the end of the pandemic, or is that permanent meaning this is just how it will be from this point on, pretty much? That's it.
Likely, based on the investment we'll be making in the fleet, this will be a permanent solution. So it'll be a barrier. They are common products in the industry that are being used for this purpose, but they've been around for a long time. So it's something that'll stick with us. We were thinking about doing a temporary barrier, because of the timing and the delivery installation. But at this point, we think it may be better just make the decision. Let's go with the permanent solution.
Okay, thanks.
Corey?
Yes, I read in the paper, I believe, that the City College is considering possibly bringing the students in during the course of the year. And if they do that, what's that going to do to the agreement that we have? Is there something that's going to be on the registration sign up, or will the students just have to pay regular fare?
Yeah, I can answer that question for you. The one agreement you're referring to that we have with the community college is the student bus pass program,
Right.
in which the students, when they enroll for on-campus learning, pay a transportation fee. Working with the ad hoc committee of Chair Davis and Director Tabor, we discussed that. What we've offered the community college is, if MTD is not charging fares to the general public, we would refund anything that they charge the students. If they don't charge the students a transportation fee, that's fine, but we'll do it on a pro rata basis. So it's consistent with whatever we're doing for the general public, and we'll work out the details with administration. That seems to be acceptable to them at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay, if there are no other questions to General Manager Estrada, yes, there is. Mr. Director Sheeler.
Thank you, Chair. This has to do with the.
Hey, Bill, now that your sound's working, you're really in there, man.
I'm into it now.
I love it.
Now that the district is considering opening the schools in 2021, just wanted to know if there's any update on what sort of bell schedule might be utilized, knowing that because of the changes that have occurred, maybe the issue of the new calendar based on the amount of sleep that students are required to get might change, and MTD might be able to work with the district to maintain its service.
Yeah, what I can share with you is I have met the new superintendent, Santa Barbara Unified School District. We had a call about a week and a half ago. Ms. Blackerby participated as well. She's been the lead person dealing with Santa Barbara Unified School District on the bell schedule issue. So they're well aware of the challenges. Just that the bell schedule provides for MTD, or creates for MTD, but especially under the current circumstances with the pandemic and the maximum passenger occupancy restriction that we have in place. So we've had those conversations. As you can imagine, they have their hands full, like everyone else, trying to figure out what they're doing going forward. But we are trying to coordinate with them as best we can. And they're making every effort to communicate with us and keep us in the loop. As something changes, we'll come back to you and let you know what we've worked out. But it will be difficult under the current circumstances. address that issue.
Okay, I'm going to move us on now to item 10 and 11. These are two closed sessions. Let me read them into the record. The first, item 10, is a recess to closed session regarding real property negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. This is conference with real property negotiators regarding the MTD real property located at 4678 Cayo Real at 149 North San Antonio Road. Under negotiations will be a price and terms of payment. Agency negotiators are General Manager Jerry Estrada and Graham Lyons, attorney to MTD. Other negotiating parties is the FPA, Multifamily and Housing Authority of the Santa Barbara County. Item 11 is a recess to closed session conference with legal counsel regarding litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A regarding Gloria Bravo de Ayala and Santiago Ayala Cazares versus Aura Leticia Majangos, Santa Barbara Metropolitan Transit District et al. It's a significant exposure to potential litigation based on existing facts and circumstances, unknown number of cases. Madam Clerk, are there any, we take public comment on closed session items. Is there any public comment on either item 10 or item 11?
I don't have public comment, and just to confirm, was there any other business under item 9 that needed to be discussed prior?
Oh, that's a good point. She caught me. I missed over other business. Is there any other business before we go on? I'll just stop for a second. I didn't think there was, so I moved on. Okay, Bill. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill, could you just hang on with that for a second since I called out these items? We can pick that back up at the end of the meeting. Okay, so I'll just come back to other business at the end of the meeting since I called out for the closed session and read them into the record.
Okay.
So I don't want to have to do that again.
Very good.
Okay.
And regarding public comment for item 10 and 11, I do not have any.
Okay, we'll go into closed session at this point then, recess to closed session on item 10 and item 11. We will come back into open session. I'll go back to other business and reports and adjournment after that. Okay, with that, Madam Clerk, please put us into closed session